came in and he had a bunch of this small block stuff set up, and he wanted, so it's kind of like scattered a little bit, but we want to let you know that we're not just a big block company, that we do a lot of really nice, kick-ass small block and LS stuff. Small block Chevy, small block Ford, small block LS. So here we go. I just want to show all the small block stuff that we do. So there's no real rhyme or reason to it, but it doesn't have to be. It's fine. So we'll just go through it. We'll start with the fancy stuff. We got the billet stuff here. So we got a billet small block Ford we do. We have the billet small block Chevy. You can look at the, so they look pretty. The reason why we do all this, it keeps all the weight out of it, where some of the competitor stuff is anywhere from 44 to 49 pounds. That head right there is 35. So you do that times 2, it's a huge weight savings. And right where you need it, off the nose of the car. So we have that. Well, typically, not all the time, I should say. Of course, the pretty valve covers that go with them, with the dovetail O-ring, so the O-ring won't come out. That's what that means. And we have these, so we set those out. And this is a set. The customer wanted to put a fitting on it, so he wanted to put these 2 fittings on it. Mike Janis is building this engine, so we said, hey, go get all this welding done, get the fittings where you want it. So Mike went and got the fittings where they needed to be and everything, sent them back. Now we'll have them powder coated to whatever color he wants, and now this will all look nice and clean, and we didn't mess it up. So it'll look really pretty when they're done. So we got that. So the billet head's over here, and then Biggs would just, yeah, let me come over here. Sorry about that. So we have our, I don't have a finished one here, but Biggs grabbed this. So this is our symmetrical head, small block Chevy, 400 bore space. Just the ports are roughed in right now, and the seat bores and everything. We get these without seat bores, guide bores, spark plugs. We put all that in ourselves. So, but it has a 2-300 valve, an inch 610 valve. So this is for drag racing. This port volume is way too big for any kind of dirt racing or endurance type racing. It's just too big. It's not made for that. So large cubic inch, high RPM, one or the other. Doesn't have to be both, because you can't do both, but one or the other. And then that's the MBE symmetrical small block Chevy. Got something that flows in the 480, 485 range on a 1020 bench. And as I think everybody knows, I think we're one of the only companies that guarantees the flow numbers. And the reasons why we can are the machinery that we use, the people that we have. Really, that's it. So we have that. So right now we have these over here. So this is, we use, John at CID makes this casting for us. So we get them without spring pockets, guide bores, rocker gear, seat bores, everything, you know, and then we machine it all in so you can kind of see the stages of it. This has got spark plugs in it now and seat bores, so this would be ready for seats. We have 3 different versions just of this head alone. There's a finished 12 degree right there with all the lightning. We have this set in inventory. So this is ready to go with hollow stem valves and everything, and rockers. So everything is here for this. So somebody could have their engine together in a matter of probably 10 weeks. They could have the whole thing finished. We can give you all the information for the piston and everything, but let's go through this. So we have a 12 degree. 12 degrees a large port, large cubic inch. This would be for like 454 to whatever. These guys are building 490 inch motors with power adders. It works excellent for us. So you got nitrous, procharger, twin turbos, anything like that. These work excellent for. And then we have our 10 degree version, which is, that 10 degree version is completely different than this. So the guide bore locations, everything is different because we start with this, we can make a better piece for each application. And the guide positions do change for each application. We just don't use the same ones. And we do this to try and so we have an advantage over some of the competitors. That's the idea of doing that. So the 10 degree is for super late models, like the dirt stuff, things like that. Any endurance application. So you got something with a much smaller port, which will have throttle response coming off the corner. It'll still run hard at 3,500 RPM on restarts. And then we have the new 8 degree, normally aspirated version, where we took the ports we put in our billet heads, the brand new stuff that we've done, and we put it in this head. Because we dictate where the spark plug goes and the guide bores and the seat bores, we basically take that program with a little bit of fooling around and we drop it in this casting. So now you got something that flows 500 CFM on the NA stuff. The power adder stuff for the 12 degree goes like 480, 485. And the super late model stuff, which is awesome because, and They make like 940 in a super late model. That's a real number. But you got something. It's got a ton of airspeed because it has valve area, but the port is small, and that's why it works good on restarts. But that thing flows 455, and that's a real number, and it's not huge. It runs good. It won a lot of races this year. Okay, now we got some LS stuff right here. So this is the Dart LS 10 degree Biggs grab. All we have with this is we put seat boards and guide boards in it. This is our model head. So this is something this is what we scan and do our development on. But this is a Dart LS 10 degree head. This also has a 2300 intake valve in it, so a lot of valve area. Flows about 480, 485. But this is also meant for either high RPM LSs, like 10,000 RPM, 400 cubic inch, or this can be used for 460, 480 inch LSs. It has enough cross-sectional area to feed it. So then you have something that, it'll feed it. It's not as small as like an LS7. Okay, so this works for Pro Chargers and all the power adders, nitrous, anything like that. And then you go to this LS right here. So this is a casting that John at CID, just like the Ford, he does this LS one. So we take this, and we get this without seat boards and guide boards and everything like that. So this is kind of in the stages right here. It's got spark plugs in it, seat boards and guide boards, and then we'll do the finished porting to it. And here's a finished one right here. So this is the most inexpensive high-end LS7 head that we sell. So it is significantly less than this. The port volumes are much smaller, but it still flows 450 CFM. I mean, it's got a 250 intake valve, inch 600, and it's not canted. Where all of this other stuff is all canted. This isn't canted, so that makes the rocker gear less money. So this package is significantly less money. We can do them with steel seats to save money. So when you knock the steel seats out of it, it certainly saves a bunch. Or knock the copper beryllium out of it. So, or when we put steel with it. Okay, then we got our 13 degree and our 10 degree. Biggs went and grabbed the raw casting first. So we have a 13 degree casting and a 10 degree. From the blind eye, they look identical. You can't tell the difference. So that's how that starts. You can see, once again, no spark plugs, nothing in it, no seat boards, guide boards, and everything, so we can dictate it. So we have 3 different versions of this. We have 3 different intake ports, 2 different exhaust ports, different chambers. Actually, we have 3 of the 10 degree and 3 of the 13 degree. So there's a lot of versions of this to make sure we have what's right for your application. So we have the drag race stuff. We have what we call like the 410 sprint stuff we do for this. In the 13 degree. And the plug placement is excellent on methanol if you guys want to run methanol in the 13. The 10 degree is not made for methanol. But those are for super late models. And then we have the drag race versions. And then with the 13 degree, we also do a midget version, which has a smaller exhaust port, smaller intake port. And I believe that won the Chili Bowl a few years ago. I can't remember what year it was. But yeah, this stuff runs very, very, very good. And we can put down nozzles in it and everything like this. Then we have the manifolds that we did for this. You get to the point where there's just not a lot of manifold stuff going on. It's like I said, since Edelbrock's on their third investment company, they don't do a lot of development anymore. And Rod, who used to do all that, has passed away. Sadly, passed away. He is extremely missed in our whole industry. He used to make things easy for all of us because he could design these things correctly. So now we just make them out of billet. We don't have Rod, so we design all this stuff ourselves now. So you can tell the difference. We have, well, you can just look at these to give you an idea. Drag race, dirt. Okay, so cross-sectional areas, we've shown this in the past. So this fits right on this. So we have like our super late model version right here, and then we have our drag race version right here. And we can put EFI on it. We can put nitrous nozzles, whatever you like. So whatever you need there. And then we have, I think that's it, Biggs. Oh, we also have John's manifolds, because we use a lot of John at CID's manifolds. So John has manifolds that we use that fit the Billet small block Ford, the Billet Chevy, so we can put a cast manifold on them. Also, they fit all 3 versions of this Ford, the 8 degree, the 10 degree, and the 12 degree. He makes a manifold for the LS, for our LSCID LS 12 degree head. So a lot of manifolds we can use, and we're lucky that John's, really the whole industry's lucky that John has taken on that responsibility to make all those manifolds, because really nobody else is. So, okay, so typically we're always talking about our big block stuff, the 18-degree max that we do, which we do in a 20-degree version, or the big 9. So Biggs and I just wanted to show you that we have a lot of kick-ass LS and small block Chevy and small block Ford stuff, a significant amount, and now you guys see that we do. But thank you for watching it. Appreciate it. Have a good day.